to Adam's Reviews, episode 19, and the second episode of 2020's Halloween special. And today we are talking about the 2003 horror film, House of 1000 Corpses. Now, a little background on this. I'm not a fan of Rob Zombie. In fact, I don't like him. I don't like his music, and I just kind of find him obnoxious. He doesn't make my type of movies in general, and I don't find him to be that great of a director. So I was a little worried going into this one, obviously, and this isn't like a great movie or an artistic achievement or even a great horror film. It's just like an entertaining schlocky type of horror film. And if you take it seriously, you're probably going to think it's horrible, but if you just don't take it seriously and just have a good time with it, you'll probably end up enjoying it a lot like I did. Now, the negatives of this film has quite a few negatives. It's definitely a very flawed film. The film definitely has a lot of negatives, and I'm going to tell you some of them. So the movie has a lot of weird camera work choices. For example, I wasn't a huge fan of a lot of the camera zooms. They were just very over the top, and not in like a good way or anything, just in like a very annoying, obnoxious way. And a lot of the editing was also very obnoxious and in your face, and not in a good way. It was just kind of annoying, and like I wanted it to just calm down a bit. And also the film uses these X-ray saturated filters sometimes. Sometimes it was fine and didn't get on my nerves, but after a point it starts to use it like a lot, and it really began to get on my nerves over time. And also the film definitely doesn't really respect women how it betrays them throughout the film. And it's not like the worst thing ever, but I don't know, I think they could have handled the female characters a bit better than what they did. And also, I wasn't a fan of the opening credits scene at all. Just the music and everything was just really obnoxious, and I didn't like it. But the film has its positives, I guess. It is really stupid, and I think that's basically the point. And like I said earlier, if you take it seriously, you're not going to enjoy this film at all, because it is just dumb fun, and I think that's how it's meant to be viewed. And if you do that, you'll probably have a really good time watching it. It is really ridiculous. The performances are really ridiculous. The dialogue, for the most part, is really ridiculous, and that's just the point. The characters are really ridiculous. Everything's super over the top, and that's the point. And I think if you take it seriously, you're just not going to get it. And I think if you just sit back and if you know what you're getting into, I think you could possibly have a really good time watching it. Ignoring those issues earlier. And again, it's not a smart movie. It's definitely nothing like, a Kubrick film like Eyes Wide Shut or anything. As other issues go, the movie is very self-indulgent, like I said, with the weird editing choices and the stuff like that. And another thing that bothered me is I don't like Rob Zombie's music at all. So when he uses it in the opening credit scene, it just makes that opening credit scene even worse than it already is, with this obnoxious metal crap that he makes that I don't like. As far as other flaws go, this is probably going to be the last flaw name, even though there are plenty more, but just for the length of this video's sake, I'm going to do this as the last one. Especially earlier in the movie, I'd say the first half, this was a big issue for me, is the film it's just a lowbrow type of movie. It is very trashy, and sometimes it felt like it was making fun of, the trashy American culture, but at other times it just felt like it was trashy American culture, if that makes any sense. You'll understand if you watch the film. But earlier in the movie, in the first 40 minutes especially, there are a lot of just lowbrow type of jokes that just are so annoying to me, and I don't find them funny. And here especially, it took me out of the movie, and I was like, come on. Could you write any better? Could you have made this you could have made this a lot better dialogue-wise. But that is probably my last flaw name flaw name. But as far as positives go, I do have a few positives too. My favorite part of the film for sure was the set design and practical effects or character design were amazing, especially for the villains of the film. There was this disfigured character that like walked weird and everything, and it looked really good, and it was practical effects. It looked really cool. There were some practical effects that I was not on board with that definitely didn't look great, but for the most part I really loved how the practical effects looked, and the character designs, especially for the villains, were really cool and I thought pretty creative. And as far as set design goes, which was by far the standout of the film to me, all the sets looked fantastic, especially the house itself with the candles and everything. Looks really cool and creative, and I liked how they did that. And it probably saved the movie for me. And that's the part throughout the film that I realized that I kept on saying was good in my head. Like, I was like, oh, this is going to be a 5. And then whenever the set design came up, I was like, it might get a higher grade. And I started liking it a bit more from just the sets in itself and the character designs and practical effects, especially with the gore and the kills later on in the movie. I thought those were pretty well done. I don't know how I feel about the ending. I feel a little bit mixed on that because it does just get so ridiculous, but it didn't really ruin my experience, especially because I already knew I wasn't really watching anything super intelligent. But I had a good time with the film. I'm kind of stuck between a 5 or a 6 out of 10 on this one. I think I'm gonna go for a 5 out of 10. As much as I did enjoy this, I do have a lot of flaws, and it is more of a below average type of movie, and it isn't really pushing me to watch any more of Rob Zombie's films, and it's not great or anything, but I did enjoy it. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 5 out of 10. So The House of 1000 Corpses gets a 5 out of 10. Also, if you've watched the movie, Rainn Wilson is in it, which I didn't know, so that was really funny, and he delivers his over-the-top dialogue really well, like he always does, and he was really funny in it. He plays Dwight, by the way, if you don't recognize his actual name, but yeah, he plays Dwight on The Office, and it reminded me of his role in Super, which is a 2010 indie movie directed by James Gunn, which is okay. It's okay. It's around a 5 out of 10 too. But he does elevate the movie a lot. Anyway, I thought that was funny. So thank you for watching. If you want to follow me on Letterboxd, see what I've been watching lately, that type of stuff, my username on there is Adam Lemire, no spaces. Then if you want to see my podcast, which is exclusively on YouTube, and I host it with my friend Landon, it's called Weird Filmcast. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Recommend me horror films in the comments below for the next review. Thank you for watching, and subscribe for